my co-host, Sheon Kuti. Hi.
Hello, everybody. How I do? How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Me as well as show it for my life, okay?
Sorry?
I want to see whether I need to block your face for my live.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think you can see me. Hi, everyone on Sheon Kuti's live. Thanks for joining us once again.
Enjoy.
Anyways, guys, it is another day for another amazing show, really, where we get to dissect these different top stories for the week. So a few stories I'm going to be sharing with you, talking about the federal government planning on lifting 20 million Nigerians out of poverty. Let's see how possible that is. We're also going to be talking about the 88 cars auctioned here in Lagos State. Now, these cars were seized by those who are breaking the law, driving one way in Lagos. We're going to be touching on that. And Sean's favorite topic for today, why the pigeons did not fly.
AKA the pigeon strike. The pigeon strike.
So we're going to touch on that. Anyways, guys, let's get into the show for today. You might have heard this. That the federal government recently announced their plan to lift 20 million Nigerians out of poverty in the next 2 years. According to the vice president, of course, he stated this on Tuesday in Abuja whilst flagging off virtually the cash transfer scheme that is to be facilitated through a wholly technology-based approach called the Rapid Response Register. I'll repeat it, the Rapid Response Register, which is RRR. Now, RRR is the means by which the urban, poor, and vulnerable population can be speedily identified using geographic satellite technology, of course, and other related means for the purposes of delivering cash to households affected by the fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic in the country. Now, according to the vice president, and I quote, the groundbreaking success of the RRR now emboldens us
our life don't
to achieve
everybody
our aspiration of a social security program for a minimum of 20 million Nigerians in the next 2 years. Now, this will be the largest of its kind in the continent.
If everybody
this aspiration, so we have to give them all the information before we dissect it.
I say our life done better. Let's start dancing. I don't know why I still here. We are not on the streets.
Okay. Before we start rejoicing, this aspiration is, at least from the perspective of this tested approach, now well within our reach. The only constraint, according to the vice president, of course, is the funding, which we must look for, because this country deserves a social security scheme that will not merely alleviate poverty, but also create wealth for the millions of those who are waiting for this opportunity.
I
believe on this note, we can begin to dissect this.
Wait. Are you saying the VP, after making me sweat like this, from doing my Holy Ghost dance, the money is not yet there?
Well, for the first installment, because they didn't really specify.
You mean this is audio?
He didn't really specify if it's not there or we need more for the rest of the 20 million people. And maybe they have small. You know, when you're borrowing, at least they would ask you, okay, which one do you have? Let me complete it. So maybe they have a little bit for a few million people. Maybe not the 20 million, and it's in the next 2 years, remember. So I'm sure they have a bit to start.
Another audio palliative.
Fantastic.
Oh no.
So Sean, what are your thoughts about this? This is yet another poverty alleviation scheme and program by the federal government, and the vice president is saying this as a message of hope to the people, saying it seems like it's more attainable within the next 2 years.
But next 2 years during election time. I beg, which kind scam be this one? This is campaign. This campaign has started.
I like that campaign.
His campaign don't start already.
Interesting.
Because first of all, 5,000 naira is not poverty alleviation. Less is poverty supporting.
It's poverty reinforcement.
Poverty reinforcement.
Don't actually tell me.
I'm telling you the truth. Well, if you can't even shout, this one is not. How can you say you are giving somebody 5,000 and you are alleviating poverty? You know how they buy people Indomie to go and say sewing machine, Okada. I mean, these are things that reinforce poverty to make you comfortable in poverty. Exactly. You know, it's only real social investment in the education of the people, as we're having COVID now, this VP needs to stop the tokenism. This tokenism, and it will be a shame on our own historical struggles for our humanity to accept such tokenism as a solution from the vice president of the most populous black nation in the world.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we are over a year into COVID, ravaging us, the whole world. I'm sure if we look at it very well, maybe Nigeria is the only country that has not built one new hospital in the midst of all this. Yeah, at least country with some money. Let's forget the really poor countries that cannot help themselves at all. But at least in Nigeria, countries like Nigeria, our mates, I'm sure they built at least one, one research center, new one, brand new, just to work on this. Where's our own? Only isolation center that is now full. They're saying people should treat themselves in the house, I mean, and things like that.
Yeah.
The cost of hospitals, treating people. So when the VP is now coming to say something like they have 5,000 naira for 20 million Nigerians, you're looking like just gather the money and build hospital for us.
It's very appalling.
Gather the money and build us one hospital.
Now with this particular news, there are a few things I just want to establish because it's very mind-boggling. Now, for those who may not be aware of the different poverty alleviation programs and schemes, we already have existing poverty alleviation programs. Under the umbrella of the National Social Investment Program, we have things like the Homegrown School Feeding Program, the Conditional Cash Transfer, the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program. We also have, there's one last one, I can't really remember. So we have
one, I think the acronym is PAP or something.
PAP?
Yeah, the Poverty Alleviation Program.
Okay, poverty, yeah.
PAP.
So, this is PAP. So these so like for instance, like the GEEP, that is the Government Enterprise Empowerment Program. We have things like trader money, market money, farmer money. You might be
audio
aware
money
of these different things. So we already have existing poverty alleviation schemes. Now these existing poverty alleviation schemes have been ridden with a lot of corruption, misappropriation of funds. And the question to the government is, what happened to accountability and holding people responsible? Because it seems like our government, yet again, is quite notorious or very well known to use the creation of new policies to address old policies and to also distract the general public or the citizens from realizing or from seeing that the government did not even address the issues from the already existing policies, where you have misappropriation of funds. What have you done to ensure that the Homegrown School Feeding Program and the monies sequestered for that are being used for what it's supposed to be used for?
And this 5B, is it per month or per week?
Well, I'm not really sure if it's I doubt it's per week. I believe it's per month.
Yema Nikao. That's you right. I like this word, get wickedness. Evil did this word. See, this is what I'm saying, This tokenism, and it's also, we are a reflection of our leadership, of our elite. Every society is a reflection of the leadership. They always say leadership is a reflection of the people. It's a lie. It's where the people have power. We don't have power, we are oppressed. How can it be? It is them that are teaching us this behavior. You understand?
Yeah.
Because when you look at this government and their relationship with Nigerian people in general, I keep saying it. We are over 60 years into being our own country. Closer to 70, man, if I'm not mistaken. And Abi, yeah, we are done past 60. Yeah, 60. Don't pass 60.
Back, yeah.
No single problem affecting Nigerians have been solved. Now, fellow Nigerians that think that giving a child on the road 100 naira, 200 when he's begging is you doing good for that child. While you work in a bank and help people launder billions out of the country. You understand? That is really putting that child on the street. That will send that child back to the street tomorrow. And we act like we don't know these things.
Wow.
So that is the way they act towards us when they say want to give poor people 5,000 naira a month. And their supporters will come out and say this government, at least see they are the first government to do something. When that something is also nothing. See, that's what this government has perfected. The art of doing something that is
But it's
also
really
nothing. You understand? So he doesn't really do anything. And in this scheme or whatever, go and look at the agricultural sector. The way the government has been pumping money to subsidize, so-called subsidy for farmers for their fertilizer. But go and talk to the farmers themselves. If this thing is reaching them or is helping their business, they tell you no. But people are cashing out. You know? So this is the system that we are under until we, as Nigerian people, decide that we are tired of this set of leadership that don't truly represent who we are. Because I realize that many Nigerian people that especially the poorest Nigerians that I encounter, even when they transgress, I see that it is because they are forced to by the system. They have no option, it's transgress or die.
Wow. So just speaking about not having leaders representing us as a people, how can you represent a people that you don't even know how many they are? You don't even know to the ends of Nigeria the people that you are actually leading. Now with this, newly revised form of poverty alleviation scheme that the government has decided to bring into play in the grand scheme of things, they're saying now they are using technology to be able to identify the poor and the vulnerable. How do you identify the poor and the vulnerable when you don't even know the number? We have not been able to carry out a successful census. How is the database going to be accurate?
And what kind of government wants to interact with these people in such an impersonal way from space?
Technology.
I see this is what I'm saying. It shows their oppressive nature, their complete oppressive nature, that they don't even want to interact with their people. They don't want us to feel their presence. They want to be looking at us from space, the way they control our life from Aso Rock, that nobody is allowed to enter or even see. How many Nigerians have seen Aso Rock before? Just to even see the building, how it look like. You understand? It's true.
That's so funny.
If this government wants to alleviate poverty, put price control on food. Put price control on education. You don't have to share money for the poor people of this country. Make sure that all these people cannot charge the exorbitant, your friends can no longer charge us the exorbitant prices they charge us for our own commonwealth that they sell back to us. Is it the food that they grow from our land? The food they sell from our crude oil, or the cement they used to get from our limestone and process on our free land and everything? All the concessions we give them as government, because government is the people of Nigeria. All the licenses in our names. Put a price control so that people can afford it, and tell them to reduce their profit. Don't worry. I know you used to make 100 million a year. Manage 5 million a year now. We are not going to collect the rest you'll be making. You don't stack up. Now it's the turn of Nigerian people to enjoy these things. So at least poor people will not be hungry on the streets.
I like that. Just to write off of what you've said, because in our current situation right now, we are the poverty capital of the world. Over half of our population is in poverty. This is something that we have identified already. But I believe that any country that wants to move or change the economy for the best has to identify two factors that are very pertinent. Because I believe it's just one out of the two factors that the government is focusing on all the time. One factor is poverty alleviation, and another factor they have to also identify is economic development. There has to be a balance, because I believe poverty alleviation is akin to sharing fish. You know how they say there's a difference between sharing fish and teaching a man to fish? And then economic development is akin to actually enabling and empowering the man to be able to fish. So yes, at the moment, we need the handouts. However, we also need the enabling environment for these people to eventually learn how to fish, so that there will be enough fish in our economy that will go around, is what the government should be looking at.
You are very right. I remember a conversation I had on Facebook, where it was public, so I can say it with Baba Femi Ojudu, one of the special advisors to the president, on Facebook, and he was talking about how Zulum built a good school. One good school, like it's the best, like nobody had done that. And it was quite commendable. But I was saying, it's his job, number one. They don't need to be commending him for doing that. But there's nothing that child will learn in that school, no matter how comfortable the school is. If the child's house is not comfortable, that school cannot teach him anything. If where it's coming from doesn't give him some certain level of comfort that he can get in that school, not the same, maybe the school is, but if his own background the base is coming from.
Yes.
Is living under insecurity, stress, poverty, hunger. He will look forward to school, yes, but he's not prepared. So that's what we miss. You know, that's how this government, you know, they will build a field. Let's say they build a field one place now, and they see that they've done something for the community. No, that field needs coaches. It needs tournaments. It needs many other supporting activities and professionals around there for it to be of any use, or else it will just be a place that is just there. And that is what this government is used to doing. You know, something that is nothing. You know, a facade. Everything is a facade. You know, you come to VI, you look everywhere, big buildings, expensive buildings, expensive things, everywhere expensive. Because number one, people are laundering money, and money launderers are willing to pay the highest prices. That's why things are so expensive in Nigeria. Because everybody is there cleaning money in our society. Nobody can stop them. Nobody can prosecute them. They do what they like. So we have homelessness everywhere and big empty buildings everywhere. I mean, how does that make sense? Who are these investors that are not saying, okay, the best investment for a peaceful Nigeria, for Nigeria to thrive, is to house the poorest people that are on the streets so that they can become more productive and add to this? No, is to build empty building that nobody can afford, that is just there securing somebody's assets.